made her edgy. What could be taking him so long? Ceejay glanced at her watch. Nearly 20 minutes had passed. Fuming, she left the laundry and walked around the building to the parking lot and back. Matt wasn't there. Neither was her car. Ceejay walked all the way around the block, peering down every street for a glimpse of him until she'd come full circle. The 2 baskets of laundry caught her attention, and dread lodged itself in the pit of her stomach. She stopped in the middle of the sidewalk while her mind ran through all the possibilities, coming at last to an unhappy conclusion. No, Matt wouldn't do such a thing. He wouldn't. Ceejay dug through the baskets until clothing, towels, and sheets were strewn all over the lawn. Other than a pair of raggedy jeans, some briefs, and a worn t-shirt, none of it belonged to him. Why hadn't she paid more attention? Oh yeah, because she had other things on her mind, like an unplanned pregnancy. She tore back into the building, raced up the stairs and through their apartment to the cramped bedroom they'd shared for the past 6 months. There were 2 small closets in opposite corners of the room. One was his, the other hers. Ceejay approached his closet as if it harbored all the dreaded monsters from her childhood nightmares. Her hand froze on the doorknob. It took a supreme effort to open the door, and once she did, she regretted the act. All that remained of their love story were a few empty hangers and a pile of old racing magazines on the dusty floor. Well, not quite all. She took a few steps back and placed her hand over her abdomen. He had left her with something to remember him by, only he didn't know it. Replaying the past few weeks in her mind, she searched for clues. Why would he leave? It had been his idea to move in together, not hers. She'd never put any pressure on him other than to suggest he quit racing and find a real job. Another sinking feeling hit her, and she dashed back to the living room. Falling to her knees in front of their ratty old couch, Ceejay slid her arm underneath to where the lining hung loose from the wooden frame. Frantic, she reached around in all directions. He'd taken it. All the money she'd saved for nursing school, her way out of perfect, gone. Crap. He was halfway to somewhere else by now, with her car. Nausea hit her hard. She pushed herself up from the floor and dashed to the bathroom. Once nothing was left inside to come up, she rinsed her mouth and grabbed some tissue to blow her nose. Turning to toss it into the trash, she spotted Matt's reason for leaving. There it was. Mystery solved. The early pregnancy test she'd taken the day before lay on the bottom of the empty can, dead center with the positive yes facing up. No mistaking that message. He must have found it when he took out the trash. While she'd been waiting on tables at her aunt's diner, he'd freaked out and packed up. Sinking down to the cool tile floor, she stared at the plastic wand for a long time. Long enough for all of her dreams to sputter out like a wet match. How could such a tiny piece of plastic have such an enormous impact on her life? She got up and dragged herself to the phone. Once her car and money were reported stolen, all the sad, sordid details of her bad judgment would be a matter of public record. Might as well rent a billboard, because the news would be all over town by tomorrow noon. Warwick County Sheriff's Office, how may I direct your call? Hello, Inez. This is Ceejay Lovejoy. Is Sheriff Maurer around? Hold on a minute, Ceejay. I'll put you right through. A bad Muzak rendition of Freebird filled her ear, and here she thought her day couldn't get any worse. Hey, Ceejay. How's your aunt? Oh, she's fine, Sheriff. I'm calling to report a theft. A theft? Hold on a tick. The sound of a drawer opening and paper shuffling came over the line. All right, tell me what's missing. My boyfriend, $5,000 in cash, and my car.